talking about when I thought laying one down is appropriate and when laying one down is not appropriate. And you can go back in the archives and find that. But at one point I talked about this horse didn't want to be very submissive to the left, submissive to the bit. And I showed how I was just going to hold my hand and wait. And I said that's the exact same thing as laying one down. And I said this isn't something that would warrant laying one down. And as I was saying that, I was thinking what would warrant, or what I am going to do, is I'm going to get done with this video and I'm going to tie his head around to his tail. And it occurred to me just as I started to do it that, like yesterday, somebody said, can you show when the application would be that you would do this, that you would tie one around to his tail? So I do it when I introduce them to the bit, when they learn how to give to it at first, all kinds of things like that. And this horse is really green to the snaffle bit. But here's the time when I would do it. When I'm riding around, I'm not getting any give to one side or the other. And it's not, and I know that it's not because he's hurting in his mouth anywhere. There's no wolf teeth, blah, 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 blah. When I know for sure that that's the case, well, then here's the time when I'll do it. And then that person asked, and then what do you do? Do you chase them around with a flag or this or that or the other? And I'll show you exactly what I do. So there I've got him tied to his tail. I've got a slip knot in there in case there is any wreck. He was not wanting to give to that bit. He was getting scared of that, where he had to be submissive there and trying to raise his head and back up. So I'm gonna tie him around like that. And then what do? I leave. I go pour a cup of coffee and let him wander around here and sort it out. And that's it. That's what I do. I often talk, well, in my book I talked about groundwork isn't appropriate to, it's not appropriate to leave them and let them figure it out for their own. But this isn't really groundwork. When I taught him about the snaffle bit in the groundwork, I didn't leave him. I stayed there and babysat him, and I kind of used the flag to keep that forward momentum, forward movement. But at this point, he savvies that, and he's got plenty of room to wander around and find different ways to try to get comfortable. And so I'm just gonna leave him, and I'm gonna be right over there, so it's not like he's in any danger of getting in a wreck and not getting saved. But I'm just gonna let him kind of sort this out, see if he can figure out what it is that's pinching him or what he doesn't like about giving that way. And that's gonna be his ride. We'll see what he's like tomorrow. Oh, and in terms of what I'm looking for, I guess that was it too. And what are you following me around? What are you looking for when you decide to give them the release? Well, it's when they're real comfortably standing there, bent around with their tail, slacking their tail, slacking their reins. There he's getting the release. When I started him in the snaffle bit, right there, that's enough. That's all I would do. Bang, be done. And so maybe I was too fast with this horse when I did start him in the snaffle bit. Since I'm kind of doing a refresher, I'm gonna let him stand around for a few minutes and give him several different opportunities to get uncomfortable with that frame, and then walk around, get pulled on, and get back in that frame, and then get uncomfortable with that frame, walk around and get pulled on, and get back in that frame. It's gonna be no less than 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. When you get into any longer than about 10 minutes, especially with a baby, then you're dealing with sore muscles and things like that, and he can't hold that frame for all that long. And then he'll teach himself to pull, he'll teach himself to be hard in the mouth, and I don't want that, and I don't want him sore. So I'm not gonna tie him up and go to lunch. I'm gonna tie him up and go have a cup of coffee, or pour a cup of coffee, and then, this is kind of funny, him following me around, and then come back and untie him and put him up. So that's tail tying. So we've still got the camera on him, so I decided I guess I'd go back to talking. Found my coffee cup. Had 3 sips of coffee. And I could kind of see him here, trying to get in the middle of the camera. He's such a friendly guy, he decided he'd mother up to the camera. But I've been kind of watching him. He's pulled himself around. He's got himself in and out of the correct frame a couple of times. And even there where he did something that kind of worried him, he just submitted to that bit. But we're going to call him good. It's all the more I'm going to ask out of him. Like I said, he is young. He looks big. But he's not quite 2 yet. Doing something here I preach against, leading them by their snaffle bit rein. I'm trying to just walk around and get him to just come to me, but there we go. So I'm just going to give it a test here. I'm not going to get back on him and ride him, because that's how training works. There, off of a really soft, really light signal, cue, whatever you want to call it. Wasn't a pre-signal, no such thing as a pre-signal. There, I got him to follow that rein around. So hopefully tomorrow he'll be gooder about it.